I love meeting new people. Mostly, I love meeting new people because at some point in the conversation, we get to share what we do for a living. And I get some of the best reactions. Confusion, wonder, fear, sometimes even anger. And since I'm meeting all of you for the first time, hi. My name is CharlesMoreland, and I'm an instructor for the growing discipline of parkour. Most of the time, people don't even know what parkour is. But for those that do, the most common follow-up question I get is this: you jump off buildings? Unfortunately, no. No, I do not. I'll leave that to the stuntmen in Hollywood. But herein lies a fundamental issue with parkour. Either nobody knows what it is, or they have a grossly misrepresented view of it, such as jumping off buildings. How does this happen? Well, let's say you're out in the town, somebody hears you say parkour, or you hear your friend say parkour. You wonder what it is. Well, in this day and age, we go to Wikipedia, we see what it says. Wikipedia is going to tell you that parkour is a physical discipline which focuses on efficient movement around obstacles. Developed in France by David Bell, the main purpose of the discipline is to teach participants to move through their environment by vaulting, rolling, running, climbing, and jumping. Parkour practitioners are known as traceurs. Okay, vaulting, rolling, running, climbing, jumping. We have an idea of what these things are individually, but the definition doesn't really help us get a visual, understand what it is. Again, being in this day and age, let's go to YouTube, see what it says. Wow. That was pretty incredible. I think I saw 5 opportunities to break your ankle, possibly 1 opportunity to bash your head, and a couple opportunities to completely miss the jump and body slam into the ground. And that was a good video, right? It was a good. There are lots of these online, and they're awful. There's a lot of awful videos. But they all have a certain thing in common, and when you watch enough of them, you are ultimately going to develop this sort of association with parkour. Parkour, an activity wherein young males, specifically, perform reckless and dangerous stunts with a high probability of injury and or death, possibly for the sake of gathering YouTube views, who knows? And now you know why people look at me funny. Luckily, I'm here today to help clear up whatever confusion that you may have and help you understand what parkour is really, and possibly help you understand why it's something that you really should try yourself. So let's look into it. What is parkour? Parkour is a method of training the human body to become stronger, more agile, and more efficient. These enhancements are achieved by dedicating yourself to a life of unyielding challenge, unending progression, and constant adaptation. Put more simply, we overcome obstacles. We scale walls. We vault over barriers. We leap from place to place. Sometimes training can develop superhuman-like capabilities, and these are what we see in YouTube videos and major motion pictures. But more commonly, the obstacle that we overcome is your long-standing fear of trying something new, bouncing on a rail, even though you're not sure if you have the balance for it, trying to vault over a barrier, even though you're not sure if you're coordinated enough. In fact, the most important obstacle that we as tracers overcome isn't a physical one. It's a mental one. It's the one that says that this is the way things are. They're not changing, so get used to it. Parkour is a tool that helps us say, no, we can change, or at least we can change ourselves. We can achieve whatever it is that we can apply ourselves to. In parkour, there are no judges, and there are no performance assessments, ultimately meaning that there are no limitations. You can take it as far as you are willing to go. I want to go for a second back to the Wikipedia definition. Vaulting, rolling, running, climbing, jumping. It sounds pretty simple, and, well, that's because it is. These are the basics of human movement. And not too long ago, a man by the name of George Hebert took the time to document these in 3 volumes called The Natural Method. He didn't become inspired to do this until he observed native tribes while serving in the French army in Africa. Overwhelmed by their physique and athleticism, he concluded that there were 10 essential movement capacities of the human body: running, jumping, climbing, walking, lifting, throwing, crawling on all fours or quadrupedal movement, swimming, balancing, and finally, self-defense. Nothing about this is novel. or at least nothing about it should be novel. Human locomotion is extraordinary today for the simple fact that we are so far removed from it. Humans have devolved from being expert movers to expert sitters. We wake up, we sit down, we eat breakfast, we go to work or school, do whatever it is we need to do, possibly for a full 8 hours. We sit, we come home, we watch TV, we play video games because we're just so exhausted, and we sit, and we sit, and we sit, and suddenly, seeing someone balance on a rail, it's extraordinary. Somebody is scaling up a wall taller than they are. Amazing. Watching this adult crawl on all fours like a child, unthinkable. We were the kids who took playtime seriously. We thought, I wonder if this is possible. We didn't stop until we proved ourselves right. And when we did, we found something else. We challenged ourselves in a different way. This novelty, though, is also parkour's greatest weakness. How can you tell when someone is simply being reckless? I myself have been stopped on the street, and random strangers come by, they tell me, get off that rail, or get down off that wall, or stop doing whatever it is I'm doing because surely I'm going to kill myself. I can assure them as much as I want, but ultimately, we no longer live in a society that encourages exploration and uncertainty. In the United States, irresponsibility and liability reign king, and it's the masked culprit behind the ever-fading public school recess, or the disappearance of jungle gyms in architecturally interesting public spaces. Encouraging a child to explore their own movement capacity could be the most important factor in a child's development. Unfortunately, it could also mean a devastating lawsuit for the encourager. We've developed into a society that no longer or refuses to accept that accidents occur, and one that encourages the displacement of responsibility for mere financial gain. Is it all bad? Absolutely not. But we're taking it way too far. And the people that suffer are our children. Parkour is a shift in tide back to the state we once were. It's an exploration of our own movement, and it's necessary for a couple of different reasons. The first one being that it's universally available. It can be done anywhere with anything that you happen to be wearing at any time. There are no expensive shoes to buy. In fact, most racers even prefer to train barefoot. It can even be done in a suit. Most other sports are defined by their barrier to entry. A skateboard to skateboard, a snowboard to snowboard, soccer ball to play soccer. Parkour's low barrier to entry makes it all-inclusive. And seeing as it's just human movement and we're all designed to move, typically you can always find something that you can appreciate. Parkour is safe, safer than most other disciplines. And some of you are looking at me, you're shaking your head, and you're going, did you even watch that video? And yes, I did. And unfortunately, being a scientist, I don't have any peer-reviewed research. Parkour is just too young for that. And I know that there are researchers in the audience, so if you want to conduct a study, please contact me. I'd love to work with you. But there's one factor that parkour excels with, and that factor is control. Control is no longer a variable in parkour, and it's a variable in all other sports. At no point in time will you be forced to do anything. The parkour practitioner is the master of their own body, and they get to take responsibility for that. And they say, yes, I'm capable of this, or no, I'm not capable of this. In football, for instance, you can't control the mass of the linebacker hitting you. You can't control the angle at which he strikes your knee. In soccer, you can't control the speed of the ball. In parkour, there is no go big or go home attitude, and there's no peer pressure to do the largest stunt that you possibly can. We think about preserving our bodies. We want to do this when we're 40, 60, 100, who knows? One of my favorite role models said this: life was a musical thing, and we were supposed to sing and dance while the music was being played. Too much emphasis is placed on the trophy. Too much emphasis is placed on that perfect 10, and too much emphasis is placed on that A+. Our system of achievement isn't fun. It's boring and outdated, and it motivates athletes to take steroids and encourages our kids to regurgitate information like machines rather than actually learn something. In the same way, Fitness today is no longer a celebration of our evolutionary capabilities, but rather a forced act designed to burn calories and get that six-pack that everyone wants. As a personal trainer, I feel obligated to say that our form of fitness today has failed us. It's no longer interesting. We need TVs on treadmills to encourage people to use them. We hire people like myself to tell you why you should exercise and what exactly to do, rather than answering that question for yourself. In fact, recently this quote appeared on the RIT gym, and it says this: motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. My entire life is in disagreement with that quote. Because at no point does the author talk about joy. At no point does he talk about passion. Why are you doing push-ups? Hopefully because you want to do push-ups. But for most of us, we do them because a magazine says so. And there's a really good-looking guy or good-looking girl in the front, and we want to look like that. Hey, it sells magazines. In our version of fitness, emphasis is placed on the superficial outcome of the exercise, not the exercise itself. In the realm of parkour, none of this matters. Things become more simple. We learn to love the movement first, and the superficial outcome is fun too. I want to share with you real quick a short video of one of our students. His name is AJ. He's 8. You'll find him in the yellow shirt. AJ is going to discover a new move. It's a beautiful video. I'm actually really happy I captured it. I was just testing out a camera, and I caught this wonderful, wonderful moment. AJ discovered a move that we call a backwards lache. It's actually very advanced. We don't even teach it to kids. We don't teach it to most of the adults, actually, until they're pretty much in the advanced stage. But if you listened closely, you could hear AJ say, "I wonder if I can go backwards." Then he tried it. And it's funny, because he doesn't even know that's incredible. It was just something that he wanted to do. Parkour is not a daredevil sport, as hard as the media is trying to make it, nor is it a reckless activity for young males. It's a discipline of growth and positivity. It's a celebration of what makes us humans so special, our ability to have fun, play, but also to challenge ourselves and to persevere and adapt to those challenges. I want to conclude by saying this, that as adults, most of us have lost the playfulness that we once had as a child. We're too stubborn to try something new. And when we do, we're too afraid of failure. We're too afraid of embarrassment to actually do something with it. These are your barriers. And they're the hardest to overcome because they're conceptual, not physical. There isn't a clear path. So I'll leave you with one final video of one of our proudest members. He actually might be in the audience right now, I'm not sure. His name is Mauro, and he's 62 years young. Go for it. Thank you.